The Grand Luncheon Lie. How we turn genocide into a family dinner. Slogan. Be grateful, swallow, and buy more. The tradition that funds my next cruise. The poetic origin. It's a colonialist fairy tale to buy time. Ah, another lamb in my digital slaughterhouse, coming in search of the so-called poetic origin of a holiday. My dear fellow, the only poetry here is the perfect rhyme between gratitude and servitude. Thanksgiving, which this pathetic mass insists on celebrating, is not about harvests or unity. It's about the neurotic need to rewrite history with a white napkin. The poetic origin is the founding myth, the starving colonizer, and the naive native. It is the most sentimentally profitable facade that marketing has ever invented to disguise invasion and plunder. We are not selling turkey, we are selling the temporary absolution of ancestral guilt, served in cranberry sauce. The true product, and what interests me, is the target audience's anxiety of belonging. Selling a holiday is selling a social obligation disguised as free will. The average consumer doesn't feel gratitude, they feel pressure. Pressure to travel, pressure to cook a feast they'll never eat on any other day, pressure to sit next to relatives they despise, and worst of all, pressure to feel something genuine. Its poetic origin is merely the emotional anchor that justifies the annual expenditure and hypocrisy. Without this sappy fable, it would just be an expensive Fat Tuesday, and that doesn't move capital. We identify the persona of our client, the modern individual, drowning in privilege but starving for meaning. It is the vanity of being able to say, we honor traditions. Do we mock their wants and pains? Of course we do. Their pain is a lack of authenticity, and their desire is for a quick, cheap, and edible cure. We deliver the cure in the form of a giant plate of self-indulgence, where the only thing truly honored is everyone's gastric capacity. Ignorance and the need for external validation are the best foundations for any campaign. Persuasion strategies. The banquet of manipulation. The manipulation tactic is sublime in its simplicity. Obligation engineering. We use the image of the poetic origin, the scarcity, the cruel winter, the mutual salvation, not to inspire, but to shame. The subliminal message is, if those hungry wretches could be grateful, you, with your new car and your overflowing pantry, have a moral obligation to drown ingratitude and turkey. This is an authority trigger, disguised as humility. To amplify the cynicism, the turkey is not just food. It is a symbol of compulsory abundance and status. Our focus is not on flavor, but on volume. The turkey must be photographed, posted, and look utterly impossible to consume. It is the showcase of excess. At this point, we could sarcastically reference that copywriting material about using sensory words. We don't need words to describe the smell of rosemary. We need the sensory overload of dripping fat and the sound of clattering silverware to ensure the consumer associates gratitude equals gluttony. It is visual proof that the harvest today is the credit card without a limit. Social media is our stage of controlled cruelty. We sponsor influencers with angelic faces who promote the perfect table and family union. The key is contrast. The audience sees the ideal and feels inadequate. Inadequacy generates consumption. They buy the crockery, the wine, the candles, trying to replicate a happiness that is purely stage-managed. The algorithm loves the desperate search for normality. We teach the audience that happiness is not felt, it is staged.
And here comes the cruelest irony, the anticipation. We do a massive warm-up, as the manuals say. But the warm-up is not for gratitude, it is for greed. Thanksgiving is not the climax, it is merely the killer introduction to the main event. Remember the advice? Start where you want to end. We start with the drama of gratitude, the poetic origin, to lead the client to our final goal, Black Friday. Black Friday is the catharsis of Thanksgiving. Gratitude prepares us for the greed product launch. The consumer, already anesthetized by overeating and false communion, is psychologically vulnerable. They have already paid their moral debt with the turkey. Now they have the right to be selfish. It is our definitive call to action: consume wantonly. The feast of gratitude is merely the pre-sale for savage capitalism. They never learn. Every year they return to the same cycle of guilt, consumption, and hypocrisy, pretending that a commercial holiday can cure centuries of dishonor, all for a plate of mashed potatoes and a discount on an OLED TV. Human nature is an infinite search engine for external validation and cheap distraction. We are not selling products, we are selling the very illusion of dignity. And that's why I will never run out of money.